Here we are with another of the Zwift Run team members. This is Sunny Lee, who's joined us. Where are you, Sunny?
Hi, I'm from Malaysia in KL, Petaling Jaya.
Tell us all about your running history, Sunny. You've been on Zwift for a long time, but how long have you been running?
Uh, I started running somewhere in 2014, so it was about 8 years now. Very late at the old age of 39.
Well, a lot of people do start running in middle age, don't they? What did you start doing?
Actually, I started running by mistake. I was that time. I remember 2014 was World Cup. Is a World Cup year. So my company is one of the sponsor for the World Cup. So in conjunction with the World Cup, they actually have a 10K event. So they needed a senior management team to be there to give out the prizes. But none of my colleagues wanted to be there because in Malaysia, all the running events started very early. For marathons, it's usually 3 to 4 a.m. early in the morning. For even for a 10K, it's 5 6 a.m. So nobody wants to wake up that early. So the HR approached me and I agree and volunteered. So I really glad that I volunteered. Man. So but at that time I don't know nothing about running. I only have a Casio watch. So not to embarrass myself, I said I should have do some training on my own. So I actually started running because of that event, just to make sure I can finish the 10K. So I actually started running and just run, get moving, and finally when the day came, I finished. Not bad, about 1 hour, and I thought I'm fast. But by the time I reached the finish line, so many people already finished. Then only I know I'm actually so slow. So after the event, I felt that maybe I should continue. So that's how I started by accident. Yeah. I'm really glad I did, and that one incident sparked, I would say, a lifelong passion. And today, wow, and that HR manager again, I always thank and tell her all about my story and how she's the spark. I'm still in contact with her. Her name is Nolela. She's a Muslim, so we're still in contact. Yeah, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how your running has developed since that 10K. What things have you done? What races have you done? What distances have interested you the most?
Yeah, since then I think I continue to run for health and just for fun. But I think back then, running really started to take off in Malaysia, and I see a lot of events and the bling bling medals kind of like get me excited. So I started registering some of the events, and it got me hooked. So and slowly, I just want to see how can I get better, how can I get faster, and from for health, very soon I think it become a bit competitive. And I still remember training for a marathon. It was crazy at that time, and I was terrible. I remember the first one was really terrible. Took me almost 6 hours.
Wow. Okay.
And not to forget, in Malaysia is hot and humid throughout the year. It's because the temperature around noon can reach up to 38, 40 Celsius, and this is not one off. It's almost every day. It's so hot and humidity is 90 to 100%. So for me, it's either late evening or early morning.
Or, of course, treadmill.
Yes, that's where Zwift come in.
So
So
tell
I
me,
think,
tell me when you first started on Zwift and when you got your first treadmill.
yeah. So I didn't know about Zwift until I think late 2018 or early 2019. Every year we will have trans-border haze from neighboring countries, blown to Malaysia, and it's very bad. Almost every year back then. Since now, I think the past 2 years, I think there's no haze. So it will be so bad, the sky will turn orange.
Wow.
And that was before pandemic. It was so bad we have to wear masks. Okay,
Yeah.
and no one is allowed to be outside simply because the there's a PMI index above 100 is already dangerous. Above 200 is already hazardous. So at that time, every year when the haze came, no one is allowed to go outside or simply is not safe. So that time, every year it came, few years I have to put up with it, and the haze usually when it came, it will last for about 3 weeks, a month sometimes. So it was bad, and I started doing some research, and I found, uh, yeah, I know about treadmill. I didn't know about Zwift. So treadmill is expensive, but eventually I took the plunge. I invested, but then treadmill was boring, so I couldn't survive long. So the research was done on what app is there for running. That's where I found Zwift. So I think early 2019, that's where it changes.
So, how many miles would you say you do each week outdoors and on Zwift?
Um, I think I would say quite balanced, 50-50.
Okay.
50-50. Yeah, because I always believe that we should vary our running surfaces. So sometimes I run on the tracks, sometimes I run on the road, sometimes on the grass, and a lot of time on the treadmill. Especially for the tempo and threshold runs, I found that Zwift really helped me because many times when I do it outside, I I didn't have the motivation to
Yeah.
hold on to the pace. So yes, the treadmill helped, but at least I finish. So when I finish, I get the physiological benefits of doing that, 40 minutes of the desired tempo pace. So that really helped me a breakthrough in my marathon time.
Do you think that running with other people on Zwift has helped? Firstly, get rid of some of the boredom of running on treadmill, but also helps you with motivation to complete those workouts.
Definitely, definitely. When I do my tempo runs, I like to run with Elton Abel.
Oh yes,
So
okay.
he's a muscular guy, red color. So very few people run with him. But and most people say, why do we even need pacer? I think there's a role to play because with him there, he kind of lead me, to finish
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
People say you just set the pace and you just run. You don't need a pacer, but I beg to differ because at least I have a companion. It's as if somebody is pacing me. Yeah.
yeah.
So
No,
I
I
do
get
like
that.
the pacing. Yeah.
So tell me about Zwift Academy. You joined Zwift Academy. What were your expectations? Why did you join?
Ah, no expectation from the beginning because there's so many people on Zwift. But deep inside there is some hope because I joined in 2019. Never heard from Zwift, not even the first round. So, but that getting into the team is not the primary objective. I joined primarily because firstly for the training, secondly I love the swag, the shirt, the online shirt and all that. Yeah, I cannot get to touch it, but I like to collect. I have a huge wardrobe in Zwift. Every new shirt, every new hat, every new shoe, I'll make sure I try to collect all. It just motivates me. I think that part of the gaming is really attractive to me. So if I don't get Zwift Academy, I get the shirt. I'll be happy too. So that was the main objective. Getting into the team is something extra. So the first year I did join and did all the training. I tried to get all the star, but for some reason I never heard at all, not even the first round. So for 2021, it was really a big surprise. And first round, second round, I also didn't pay much attention because I think I won't be so lucky. But anyway, I follow whatever that is required. It's only until like the semi-final stage that I told my wife, it's getting real. I better be serious about this. I remember that time was Chinese New Year.
Okay.
New Year is the biggest celebration for us Chinese. For information, Malaysia is a multicultural country. We have a lot of Muslim. It's a Muslim majorities. We have Chinese, we have Indian, we have Singhs, we have Sabahans, we have Kadazan. We have a lot of ethnicities here in Malaysia. So Chinese New Year is one of the big celebration. So during Chinese New Year, we all go back to our hometown. So I went back to my wife's home. Lucky I brought the computer along because this wanted us to reply quite within a short time.
Yeah.
And during Chinese New Year, usually we will take 10 days of break. So I was so lucky I have the computer and I managed to reply with the questionnaires. And after that, just hope for the best.
What did you do for your video?
By the video, I think I'm really that serious. I told my wife I want this. So I really spent time doing the video, the 3 minute video. So I really, like a director, I drafted the whole sequence of the video and rehearsed many times. I even get my son involved as a cameraman. So I really put a lot of effort in the video. Yeah.
What things did you say?
I say the truth. I say about what Zwift has helped me. Why did I like to run in Zwift? I of course why I aspire to be one of the team member of the Zwift Academy run. So yeah, I say sincerely what from my heart, and I think that kind of touch the judges in Zwift. I think definitely Zwift is not looking for the fastest or the most, the fittest. There's certainly something more, something extra that Zwift is looking. So that's why I think I have a chance. Really, I'm not the fastest. I'm very happy that because of Zwift, my lazy son, one of my son is overweight. So he has started using the treadmill because of Zwift. And he has also started cycling on Zwift. So my elder son and my wife, so that is good news enough that Zwift has brought joy to the whole family.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. How has the training been going? How have you found the workouts from Terence during the block of training for Berlin?
It was tough, especially this last 4 weeks. I think is the final one. I think what I sort of like doing very good, then came down. Now like sort of going back up. So it's not smooth sailing for me. So when I was down, I remember Coach Terence said that focus now, 4 weeks time, in where you want to be in 6 weeks time. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So don't worry about my condition now, but focus on 6 weeks time. Do what I can do now in 6 months where I want to be. So to answer your question, it's really tough. I almost want to skip, but I remember I have a goal. So I forced myself to to wake up and finish my workout today, which is, by the way, is 2K times 3. So it was very tough. For me, it's a 7 day workout, about 100 to 110 km per week. So it was tough. It was very tough. But I can see the fitness building up. And the hardest workout I must say was the heels reps. Terence heels rep is horrible. Six times 200 meter. For me, it's a 8% gradient hill. 6 times 200 meter. You finish the 6 reps. Or before that, he will tire you first with 5 km of warm up with a decent pace. Then you go up 6 times the hill. After 6 times, you go down on the flat another 6 times. Then you get back up to the hill another 6 times. So all in is 18 times. Then you get back down and do another 5 km, so-called
Cool down.
recovery is quite at a decent pace. So I feel that the most.
What is your time goal for Berlin?
So originally I want to break 3 hours. So I'm not so sure whether that is over ambitious. But if not, at least get a PB somewhere around below 3 hours and 10 minutes. Yeah, but if I qualify for Boston, I think definitely I will miss 2023. So if I qualify for Boston, I will get back to the States in 2024. PP actual event was 3 hours and 28 minutes. And during the lockdown with time trial, I managed to bring it down to 3 hours and 8 minutes. But being time trial is to me is not the real thing. Is on that day is a very good weather condition and it's just outside my house, familiar, and it's not so hilly. So that is why I'm not so sure of my actual timing.
Well, Sonny, I really hope that you manage to do at least a Boston qualifier in Berlin. I will see you there. When we're on the course, we'll see where we are both at, because we're probably around about the same kind of pace, I would have thought. So we might be able to help each other along in the final stages of the Berlin Marathon.
If we can run together, that would be so great.
Sonny, it's been great to meet you. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today, and good luck in Berlin.
Thank you, Stephen. Bye bye.